But I represent myself as a black man, you know what I'm saying? I know I'm black, I know what I have to face, I know people's perceptions, and I love being black, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to be white, no disrespect, but I love being black. I just love the way I move, I love the way I talk, I love the way I look. I love my heritage, my background, the way I feel, the way I think. I just love being black. Like a lot of people have asked me, like, how do I get to this where I'm at? It's my belief. Like, I believe so strong, so crazy. It's like to believe, the power in belief.
What do you believe in the most?
God. I believe in God the most. And after that, myself.
Talk about the doubt you've had in yourself. You're human.
Nah, I've never doubted myself. I go into it knowing I'm one of the baddest motherfuckers ever lived. You know, not even in a cocky way. I just feel like I'm one of the baddest motherfuckers that ever walked the face of the earth. You know, and that's just how I am. Because I feel I am one of the baddest motherfuckers that ever walks the face of the earth. That's just a fact. That's just a pure fact. You know when I look you in your eyes. They know when I walk in a room. You know, that right there is clear. And it's not really how you start. It's not about a leg. It's about the overall race. And that's one of the reasons why I'm a marathon runner. I ain't no sprinter. I can walk out my door right now and run a marathon right now. And that's what separates you from me.
Music. Stop the music. Thank you, Google. What up, fam?
You got it.
What up, fam? Welcome to Living For You YouTube channel. I am your boy, your favorite cousin, your favorite uncle, your favorite brother, your best friend's best friend. It's me, Dr. Larry. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You gotta kind of love that song, right? Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Pretty dope song for James Brown to do in the height of his career. Anyway, welcome, y'all. Welcome. How y'all doing? By what y'all look like, y'all obviously must be doing pretty darn good because you look good. You look real good. You already know, as usual, you come to the table, have a seat at the table. We have intimate discussions. We've laid out quite a lot for you, and we're going to present it and bring it to you. And it's just good and nourishing for your soul and for your spirit and for your body and just all around for your self-esteem. So have a seat. Welcome to the table. We look forward to just sharing this space with you for this moment. That video that you saw before was an interview that Diddy did. Hopefully you got a chance to review that one at the beginning. Very powerful words, because that's kind of the subject we'll be touching on today. But before we get there, y'all know I don't ask for much, but I'm going to go ahead and ask you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when on Mondays and when on Thursdays I post. And also, you can comment in the comment section and leave suggestions for future videos, because you know, as you already know, I'm a life coach. I am a certified master life coach specializing in trauma. I particularly deal with the residue of the trauma that African American males have gone through, whatever particular trauma it is, doesn't matter. African American males between the ages of 18 and 40. So if that's you or if it's not you, you can still submit questions and we can have us a good discussion here at the table as we do every Monday and every Thursday. So make sure you hit that bell so that you know when it's coming out. Also, you can go into our social media. The links are here, or at least the places are here. That's Dr. Larry Smith, either at Instagram or on Facebook. You can also visit the website at www.liveforyoucoaching.com. That's the business. That's my practice. So there's plenty of places to get in contact. Email me at drlarry@liveforyoucoaching.com. We can have a discussion beyond just our discussion at the table on every Mondays and every Thursdays each week. So anyway, welcome. We got quite a bit of knowledge and conversation and discussion and dialogue today. Today simply is I'm Black and I'm proud, right? It is Black History Month, of course, right? It's a big deal for Black community simply because a lot of times throughout this country's history, our particular contributions, which have been an asset in a major way, possibly even the greatest asset of the foundation of this country, as far as slavery goes, African Americans have contributed. And so it is important to celebrate Black history all the time, not just during the month of February, but it is important for us in the month of February, since it's already designated, to just maximize the potential of it to get information out. So you'll see a lot of that on my Instagram and in other places because I want to make it important to Black people, to celebrate Black people. This particular Black History Month, we focus on powerful Black men, since that's the specialization of my practice and of my life coaching business. So anyway, it is so important that if you do not have self-love for who you are, from where you came from, everything, that it is next to impossible for you to be able to love somebody else, for you to be able to have the life that you want, and for you to be able to be fully present in the moment where you want to be. It is impossible to do that if you don't have self-love for yourself. As Black men, it is very important that we have a very important love for everything Black. Now, I know there might be some people out there watching and say, well, that sounds a bit racist. Like I said, many people use that terminology incorrectly. I've said that before. But it's not. Every group should be encouraged to appreciate who they are. In the United States, while we didn't create the concept of being Black or the concept of being African American, we must embrace who we are based on that. That's our reality. And so the important thing is that we know who we are and that we're proud of who we are and we're accepting of who we are in all the variety of forms that we are. One of the things that I've learned that has been monumental and instrumental to my personal growth and development is just to have an immense amount of Black love. That has been imperative to my self-development. What do I mean when I say Black love? Well, one of the things that you guys know is that there are many different kinds and types and people and subgroups within the Black community. You got Black LGBTQ people, you got Black trans people, you got Black Christians, you got Black Muslims, you got Black Jews, you got Black atheists, you got Black CEOs, you got drug dealers and drug users on the streets, you got prostitutes, you got pimps, you got the whole gambit, teachers, lawyers, everything. There are so many different kinds of Black people, thugs, button up, preppy boys, all kinds of different types of Black people. Just as much as there are different types of Black music. But what winds up happening is we don't have a lot of control over our image in popular media. That cannot be questioned. That's a pure fact, is that Black representation in media is minimal, in American media is minimal, and it's definitely not being fully controlled by Black people. If I'm correct, the only Black station owned currently, as I am filming this, is Oprah Winfrey's own network. And there are other outlets, but for the most part, it's a very small chunk of the mass media that has been presented out there on Black folks, period. Why is that important? Well, what happens is media is one of the largest consumed products in the world, especially here in the United States. We are very much connected and influenced by the media. What happens is if you have not stronghold over your representation in the media, your representation can be distorted, and what people think of you could be distorted based on that representation in the media. Take, for example, here I am, an African American male. Sometimes in the media, the only image you might see of black men are as thugs or as hyper masculines or any other type of differences. But here I am, an educated black man. Here I am, a well-spoken black man. Here I am, a black man who came from the hood, who was able to get more into my presence and live. And by no shade do I shame the hood, because that's part of who I am. It will always be. It is important for me to look out for them brothers just as much as it's important for me to look out for the brothers who are of a different means. Always, from all types, walks of life. We all have to be each other's brother's keeper. And so because of that, however, the media's portrayal is very limited of African American males who look like me. There's also a high concentration and saturation in media of absent black fathers or black criminology or any different things that doesn't always portray black people in the positive light, especially black men. And what happens is it gets distorted. And so you wind up getting defensive, you wind up getting angry at certain portrayals that you feel like don't fit into a stereotype. And even black people ourselves, sometimes we begin to have an issue with certain portrayals that we don't feel fit into our stereotype. And that is not the way it should be. When I say I have black love, I don't care what type of black person you are. I don't care what kind of life you live. I don't care what kind of need and level, maturity level, present level, whatever moment you are in life. I love you because you're black. And we share that. That connection's so important in these United States that the mere fact that you're black is enough of a connection for me to look after you. And I would hope that that be the same connection that you have with me. But what I find is that many times as black people, we don't always do that, right? There is a huge tendency sometimes, for example, among the heterosexual black males to try to reject the LGBTQ members, black males, as though that's something apart from African Americans. But the same issues, the same problems, the same struggles that we face based on this skin thing we have called black skin affects all black people in the community. And so it is important that we notice that. For example, a lot of people know Martin Luther King. We're very familiar with Martin Luther King. Not so many people are familiar with Bayard Rustin, who was Martin Luther King's right-hand man. A lot of the nonviolent stuff came from a trip that Bayard Rustin had when he went to India and learned from Gandhi, and he brought that back to Dr. King, and the rest is history. Bayard Rustin was an openly gay black man. And so because of that, in the era that they were fighting for civil rights, it would have hampered Martin Luther King's progress. And he had to walk away somewhat from Bayard Rustin. And I think Rustin understood that because of the times that they were in. But today we're in a different time. And so black men should unite across the boundaries to be able to break the barriers that are holding us down. The black dollar, no matter where it comes from, is strong. The black knowledge and intellect, no matter who it is strong. The black presence is strong. So we should encourage each other to step up and support each other across the boundaries. There are so many statistics out there that shows where we fail to do that, right? There are so many statistics out there that shows we've killed each other. And it's not to say other groups don't kill each other, because all the statistics point out that people generally kill people who look like them. But the problem is, as a group, African Americans can't afford to lose none of us. And we have to be able to bound together to be able to survive in this thing. So whatever barriers that inhibit us from working together as black men need to be let go. Because at the end of the day, I need you just as much as you need me. And that is the facts. And so we have to understand that black love means I support all things black. I might not understand all things black. I may not even like all things black. But I am able to say I still at your core at the core of, aside from all of the differences, will support you, black man, because you are my brother and I'm your brother too. That is what it means to support black. That is what it means to love black. All that other stuff is not affecting us the way you think it do. Like, for example, outside of our community, sexuality, gender identity are something that other communities are able to deal with a lot easier. But when we come into our community, because we have been, I would even say, brainwashed with the slavery mindset, because we've forgotten a lot of our African ancestry and history, we have a tendency of imposing outside influences, European influences, patriarchal European influences within our community. We do the same thing with our economics. We do the same thing with our health. Your black BMI cannot be gauged by the same BMI of a smaller frame European person. So obviously they would have to be black fitness experts and knowledgeable nutritionists and people who can say, okay, well, here's how black body types are. Here's how black economics is. Here's what black social life looks like, right? There has to be a determination based on who we are. That is black love. Black love means I support black, I'm knowledgeable about black, and so therefore when my mindset is referring to the black experience, I am focusing on the black experience as an independent experience outside of the mainstream society. Now, some people might say, well, that's racism. That's segregating yourself from society. No, it's not. You can still be in the large body of the American society, but you need to be cognitive that your experience is different. Here's another example. The richest person in the United States today is Jeff Bezos. And currently, as we speak, Jeff Bezos' net worth is $114 billion. $114 billion. Jeff Bezos is a white guy. You guys know him. He owns Amazon and a whole bunch of other stuff. His net worth is $114 billion. That is beyond rich. A lot of us will love that. The richest black person in America is a guy named Robert Johnson. And Robert Johnson is an investor and he does other things as well. His net worth, as we speak, is $4 billion. $4 billion, which is a whole $100 billion less than Jeff Bezos. So they're not even in the same playing field as much as money. All money is not the same money. Jeff Bezos' money is a lot of money, and while Robert Johnson's money is a lot of money, it's not Jeff Bezos' money. But that's because of structural things. That's because of historical things that have prevented African Americans' economic progress. Even though we've been here just as long, give or take 12 years, as the Europeans been in what will become the United States, we have not been able to have the opportunities and access. And so I saw a statistic that said it would take 226 years for black wealth to catch up with white wealth. But that is implying that white wealth just stops and black wealth is just catching up. That ain't gonna happen. So that's a huge gap that may never occur in any of our lifetimes today. And so because of that, we cannot look at black economics on the same way we look at white economics, or black capitalism in the same way we look at white capitalism. We have to have a different conception of our reality. And that's across the board. That's religion, that's social, that's political. We have to have an agenda specific to our needs. But the only way to get there and to cement that reality is if we work together across the barriers that those outside forces put us in. Heterosexual men, gay men, bi men should all be able to work together regardless of who they go home and sleep with or who they have a relationship with. It shouldn't matter. What should matter is, black man, I support you because I understand you, because I am you. And that is such an important thing. That is black love. So how do we begin to break some of those barriers? Know that the barriers are things that can be changed, right? So focus on the circumstance. Focus on that which can't be changed. You guys know I say that when I do coaching. Focus on, realize what the circumstance is and realize that it's inchangeable. So for example, I can't change my race. No matter how much I try, no matter how many products or things I do, surgeries I do, it's never going to change me being a black man. That is the permanent situation, circumstance that I have. But my religion might not be the same religion as it was yesterday, or might not be the same religion as it is by the end of the year. Because religion is something that's not attached to me. It's something that I choose to put onto me. It's the same thing with our economic level. Some of us do well and do better economically, but it is not who we are. In fact, it is something that we can teach to someone else to get to where we are. So that's something that shouldn't divide us. Sexuality, same thing. Who you sleep with doesn't matter as who you are. You can change sexualities, ladies and gentlemen. We've already had this conversation where we said gender and sexuality is on a pendulum. It can go either way. There is no guarantee with that. Biology doesn't guarantee that. There's no genetic understanding of that at this point. And so because of that, we have to be aware and know that that's not something permanent enough for it to be a barrier. And I can go on and on and on and on, whether a person's a CEO of a big, massive Fortune 500 business as a black man, or whether it's a brother on the corner next to the liquor store selling drugs or doing whatever. That's not a barrier, right? That's not a barrier to working together. And we have to be able to get beyond those barriers, because what's happening, and I am observing it, is that black progress is very minimal and inch by inch because we're not willing to get past some of those barriers. Everybody wants to talk about how to better the black community within the black community, but the key component to even having that discussion is having everybody in the room. I watched something with Killer Mike and T.I. Y'all know I love Killer Mike and T.I. because they speak in truth in 2020 and beyond. They speak in truth. And they had a meeting. They had the revolt meeting for Diddy's revolt. And they had a good conversation on the state of black America. But nobody on that stage was somebody of LGBTQ or trans experience or any other poverty experience or any other experience that wasn't represented on that stage. And for me, that missed a major opportunity to connect, right? To build the bridge. You cannot have a discussion about black progress without involving all black people involved. And that is why it's important that we cross beyond all these artificial barriers, because the only circumstance, the only permanent thing that we have that we all share is this thing we call black skin. And the reality of it is the biggest thing that impacts us in this country and has impacted us for hundreds of years. And so we need to rely on that. That is black love. Black love means I don't care where you are, I don't care who you are, I don't care how you are, I don't care what you are and why you are. I just care that you're a black man, a black woman, and that I'm going to support you, support your endeavors, and make sure that you have a healthy present life, because that is what I am here for. That is my purpose on this planet, because showing you love is showing me love. And self-love is the best love that anybody can have. But you can't have self-love if you're unable to love somebody who looks like yourself. And that is a period. And so I wanted to get on, because I'm not going to preach too much, because then it becomes a whole different kind of video. And I'm glad you came to the table. Because when I put this stuff to this table, and when we have these discussions, and when we get into contact and we go there, what I am doing is showing you that I love you, brother. I want you to win. I want you to be present. I want you to be successful. I know that you're powerful. I know that you're great. I want you to know that. And so every time I come here and we have this discussion, this table here is prepared for your strength and your endurance. Because I know what it's like to walk the walk that you're walking. And so if I can give you a tool that I picked up, hey, let's share our tools. On whether it's economic, whether it's life coaching, whether it's social, let me help you. Let's help each other. We're in this together. So this Black History Month, since we're in it, let's focus on Black unity. Let's focus on Black oneness. And that means regardless of whatever artificial barriers that we have in front of us, let's focus on being Black. Let's say it loud. Let's say we Black and we proud, and that is our moment to connect right there. And then the rest is easy, I promise you. So I love you, and I look forward to seeing you at this table, same time, same place, in the next video.